Archangel Michael says, I called your name and the sound cracked because you kept skipping the one message made to rescue you, and this is not a joke because the truth has been confessed and it will change how you see your life from this hour. I saw you reaching for your phone then pushing it away again, and with every hesitation the weight on your chest grew heavier like a door held shut from the inside. I saw the calendar flipping, days lost like pages torn by the wind, and yet this message kept returning, tapping at your window in the quiet hours. I raised my voice tonight because a confession has surfaced, and once you hear it you will never walk the same road again. There is a room where memory stores what your mind tried to forget, and tonight that room is unlocked. Someone who watched you from a distance carried words about you that were never meant to be kind, and they thought their secret was safe forever. But heaven hears even whispers, and the whisper turned into a confession that now stands in the light. The confession is simple and heavy at the same time, like a stone that looks small until you lift it and feel the whole earth tug. They said your name while bargaining for attention, and they built their story on your pain because it bought them an audience. They fed others the idea that you were a storm that breaks good things, when in truth you were the rain that was trying to make dry ground live again. I cried loudly because you kept skipping the help sent to you, and each skip gave the lie another day to grow. I cried because you believed that silence was strength, when silence only made the wound deepen under clean clothes. I cried because the confession came with tears, and even the one who harmed you is trembling at what they did. You will not be the same after hearing this, because the sound of your own name is about to return to you clean. Your footsteps will feel different when you stand up from this message, and the floor beneath you will stop tilting. You will sense a key in your hand, and doors that never moved for you will begin to open without argument. Here is what was confessed: they envied your steadiness when storms hit, and they envied how people warmed to you without effort. They thought if they poured shadow over you, their own light would look brighter, and they found listeners eager for stories. They said you were careless with promises, ruthless with love, and greedy for praise, and none of it was true. They told this lie so many times it became a room where they could hide from their own mirrors. But guilt is loud at night, and their pillow turned to gravel, and their mouth finally opened in fear of choking on the truth. They confessed to a trusted ear, thinking it would never travel, but heaven moved the words where you could be made whole. I am not here to stir your thirst for revenge. I am here to end the drought in your spirit. I am not here to make you feel small, I am here to lift the roof off your breath. I am here to make sure that the path they tried to steal from you is placed back in your hands with interest. Listen closely now because the turning begins with your consent. You will not need to fight crowds or explain your heart to those already decided against you. You will move differently, and the fruit of your life will speak with a voice stronger than any rumor. Take these steps and do not delay, because every step you take is a match lit inside the tunnel. Step 1. Breathe and say inside yourself that you release the weight you never agreed to carry. Step 2. Gather the good you have done, not as proof to others, but as proof to your own future that you are still worthy of your next chapter. Step 3. Mark this day and time inside your memory like a page with a ribbon. Step 4. Choose silence where silence heals, and speech where speech frees, and let your decisions be clean like water. Step 5. If you have to close a door, close it gently, and let the latch rest. Turning the page does not require fire. The confession will travel to the right ears without your hands pushing it. There will be conversations you do not attend where the truth will stand up and your name will be defended. The people who leaned on the lie will feel their weight sink, and they will back away without the theater of apologies. I have waited for you at many thresholds and watched you take care of others while your own heart stayed hungry. I watched you choose kindness when there was no applause, and that kindness wrote its own testimony. I cried loudly not because you failed, but because you were close to missing the lift that belongs to you. In the next hours, signs will find you like notes tucked under your door. You will notice a message that arrives at the right minute, a call that breaks a pattern, a face that softens when they see you. These are not accidents, these are the stitches that close what was torn. You will feel your back straighten when you stand in the mirror, and it will not be pride, it will be relief. Your pace will quicken again, and old songs you stopped singing will rise with new meaning. You will taste your own courage as if it were something cooked long ago and finally ready to be served. Do not run back to convince the past that you have changed. Do not waste the language of your mouth on those who only translate it into fear. Stand in the present, and let the present carry you forward on clean rails. There is a letter being written in the background of your life, and its ink is dry even if you have not yet received it. It declares that your name is cleared, your steps are restored, and your field is open. When you hold it, you will understand why tonight had to be different. The one who confessed will try to speak to you, and you may never hear their voice. Forgiveness is not permission to return, an apology is not a ticket to your table. Set your boundaries like a garden fence that keeps beauty safe without caging the sky. I saw what they did with your photo, with your words taken out of context, with your kindness recast as weakness. I saw them rehearse disdain in front of mirrors like actors practicing a script. I saw them shrink when the truth arrived, because truth is light and light is expensive for eyes used to darkness. Your future was not bartered away, even if they tried to trade it for attention. They stacked cheap currency in their hands and found that all of it blew away in the first honest wind. Your inheritance remained sealed with your name, and now the seal breaks with ease. You will wake tomorrow lighter, not because the world changed overnight, but because the weight that was never yours finally slipped. You will notice simple things feel new, like the way a quiet morning tastes or the way your own footsteps sound in a hallway. You will see doors that were always there but hidden behind the furniture of fear. Do not ask how the tables turned, the turning is finished, and the meal is being served. Do not ask why some blessings took the long road, long roads make strong ankles. Do not ask if you deserve it, your living will answer that question without words. Your work will find fresh favor, and what once struggled to be seen will be requested by name. Your voice will find rooms that recognize it, and you will not need to shout. Your peace will become a boundary that others feel when they approach, as real as a hand raised in kindness. I place a guard at the edges of your emotions so their old words cannot trespass. I place a light at the center of your decisions so confusion finds no chair. I place a calm in the space behind your eyes so your rest returns without effort. The story they told about you has ended its run, and the theater is closing. The stage floor is being swept, and the posters are coming down. A new production begins, and your real name is at the top in letters that cannot be peeled away. When you hear your name now, you will not flinch inside. When you remember your mistakes, you will learn, not bleed. When you think about the road ahead, you will see lanes open and painted clear. You are allowed to be happy without apology. You are allowed to stand tall without shrinking to make others comfortable. You are allowed to leave rooms that cannot carry the weight of your honesty. If tears come, let them. If laughter comes, let it. If silence comes, sit with it like an old friend and let it rest in your house. I wipe the dust from your shoulders, and with that simple sweep the labels fall. I press a seal on your doorframe that says safe passage, and harm will miss its turn. I mark your calendar with a quiet star on tonight, because tonight is the hinge that closes one door and opens another. Walk to your window and see how the night air feels different. The city is the same, the walls are the same, but you are not the same. You are beginning again with everything you have learned and nothing you never needed. This message is not a performance, it is a release. This truth is not a rumor, it is a correction written in permanent ink. This turning is not fragile, it is anchored in a place that does not move. I have finished crying because you finally opened. I have quieted my voice because you finally heard it. I have stepped beside you because you finally made room. From this point forward, measure your life by the peace you keep, not the noise you survive. Build your days on small stones laid straight, and watch how high the wall rises. Let your yes be a doorway and your no be a fence. Tonight the confession did not break you, it freed you. Tonight the lie did not name you, it unmasked itself and walked out on its own. Tonight you did not miss the appointment, you arrived right on time. Go now with a steady heart. Go with a clear mind and an easy breath. Go with the certainty that what tried to reduce you has become the very proof of your rising. I stand watch as you sleep, and I keep the edges of your night from fraying. I stand watch as you wake, and I line your morning with quiet strength. I stand watch as you move, and I make the crooked stretches of your path straighten under your feet. The message is open, and so are you. The truth is spoken, and so is your future. The door is unlocked, and you have the key in your hand. Now rest, because the wheel has turned in your favor. Now move, because the way is clear. Now live, because your name is clean and your steps are ordered. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, I bring you deeper into the room where the truth waits like a closed piano ready to fill the house with sound. The lid lifts and the first chord thunders through the quiet hall, and your breath falls into rhythm with it. You feel the trust you once lost return as a slow wave that never retreats. The confession that wounded you becomes a map that guides you to doors you never noticed. I watched the circle that whispered about you lose its balance once their center collapsed. Their favorite story stopped feeding them, and they noticed the hollow taste of recycled malice. They will search for a new target and find the habit fading because light interrupts their appetite. Now your name begins to travel with warmth, carried by mouths that once stayed closed. A manager who kept you at the edge starts bringing you to the table with ease. A neighbor who avoided your eyes lifts a hand first and greets you without tension. Your work glows as if polished by unseen hands, and even old drafts look sharp. You open files and see clarity where fog once stood. You send a message and receive replies that arrive with open gates instead of guarded hedges. I place calm on the hour you used to dread, and the alarm that once sounded like metal now sounds like a bell that invites. Morning light sits on your windowsill like a faithful friend. You move through rooms with a sense that each wall steps aside for your passing. The one who confessed feels the ache of consequence, and this ache will teach them more than any confrontation. You do not carry their lesson, and you do not become their classroom. You step aside and let their own days explain what words cannot fix. You will notice your body relaxing in places it forgot how to soften. Your shoulders sit lower and your jaw stops guarding an invisible border. Your heartbeat settles into a steady drum that carries your plans forward. A message arrives that invites you into a space you longed for. The invitation is clean and the terms are fair, and you feel the ease of a path aligned. You accept without the old fear that used to ask for permission from doubt. I sweep the last crumbs of shame from the table where you plan your next steps. You mark a page with 3 steady lines and call it the beginning. You light a small candle inside your mind and the room becomes usable again. Your friendships shift into a truer shape, like stones arranged to let water flow. The ones who value you step closer with tangible care. The ones who used you step back with quiet understanding that their season has ended. You learn the difference between loud company and real companionship. You learn the flavor of safe silence that sits with you without stealing your attention. You learn the texture of respect that does not need reminders. Archangel Michael says, "You do not chase closure because closure walks to you with steady feet. It brings you receipts of grace where you expected bills of pain. It lays documents of release on your desk and leaves a pen with fresh ink. You sign your name without shaking and the paper accepts your future with gratitude. In your sleep you receive repairs that waking could not manage. Dreams clean the hallway of your memory and place broken frames on new nails. You wake with images that help you understand your own life without strain. Your craft deepens with a quiet discipline that feels natural. You give your hours to focused building, not frantic fixing. You finish tasks in sequences that make sense and your results stack like bricks. The rooms you enter notice your steadiness and respond with order. Meetings move on time and agreements hold their shape. Delays shrink in the presence of your clarity because chaos loses energy near purpose. I speak peace to the gadgets that ping with other people's urgency. You set boundaries that keep your attention intact. Your calendar stops feeling like a storm and starts feeling like a river with banks. The mirror becomes an ally again, not a judge with cold eyes. You greet your reflection with kindness that does not need performance. You recognize the story of survival written in the lines and cherish the wisdom more than the wounds. The day of the confession becomes a landmark you use for direction. Before that day felt like a maze with repeated walls. After that day feels like a road with markers that confirm every mile. You gather your tools and they fit your hands with accuracy. You step into projects that used to scare you and find them honest once you begin. You deliver results that speak in complete sentences, clean and undeniable. I place faithfulness in your routine so consistency becomes your superpower. You water the seeds of your goals without checking the soil every 5 minutes. You trust the hidden process that grows quietly under the surface. People who misread you start to correct themselves without your effort. They replay scenes with new context and feel the truth land with weight. Some will reach out with small kindness and some will stay silent as they recalibrate. The circle of listeners who feasted on lies finds their appetite replaced with a thirst for actual progress. Entertainment is traded for integrity in their private evaluations. Your steady growth becomes more interesting than gossip because growth produces benefits they can use. You forgive yourself for the time spent trapped in other people's stories. You accept that you did the best you could with the information you had. You move forward without dragging the old narrative like a rusted anchor. Your home changes character in small, meaningful ways. You open a window and let air braid through the curtains. You rearrange one corner into a place that tells your nervous system the truth about safety. I station strength at your threshold so only what serves you crosses with permission. I instruct your intuition to speak in simple sentences you can follow. I tune your attention to opportunities that align with your long arc, not your momentary mood. A mentor figure notices your focus and offers guidance that respects your voice. The guidance arrives without strings and without theater. You recognize it as timely and you receive it with gratitude and agency. Finances begin to reflect the internal order you have chosen. You track what comes and what goes without fear or avoidance. You make decisions that favor long-term stability over short-term noise. You discover rest that feels earned and free of guilt. You schedule pauses as part of your work, not breaks from it. Your energy cycles become clear and you ride them with skill. Archangel Michael says, your reputation recovers its true shape like a photograph restored by patient hands. Colors return where dullness once lived, and edges sharpen without harshness. The face that looked blurred becomes distinct and kind. The story that looked damaged reveals depth and resilience. Relationships built on mutual respect step into the foreground. Conversations feel like bridges instead of arenas. Shared plans feel like gardens tended by more than one set of hands. You notice joy appear in practical places like emails, commutes, and grocery lines. You catch yourself humming in hallways that once felt heavy. You meet small coincidences that fit your needs with precise timing. Your body releases the reflex to brace for impact. You walk through crowds without shrinking your energy. You sit in rooms without scanning for exits with restless eyes. The confession that hurt you becomes a certificate of clarity. It proves that hidden rot cannot sustain a structure. It proves that what is real survives exposure and grows stronger under light. I bless your next choices with wisdom that keeps waste away. I bless your voice so it carries warmth and authority in equal measure. I bless your path so it favors alignment over applause. Workflows that were tangled begin to loosen with simple moves. You remove one unnecessary step and momentum improves. You establish rhythms that keep you ahead of fires and free from panic. You claim space in your day for learning that excites you. You read with attention that lands and sticks. You practice skills that keep you adaptable and calm. When pressure rises, you do not borrow anxiety from anyone. You slow your breathing and handle the next right action. You keep your promises to yourself and build trust from the inside out. A letter of recognition finds you through channels you did not chase. It names contributions you made quietly and consistently. It places you in rooms where your perspective carries real effect. You give thanks in ways that honor your values. You celebrate progress without insulting the parts of you still in process. You anchor your hope in habits that you can repeat on ordinary days. I stand with you at the gate of new work and wave you through. I stand with you at the gate of healed love and nod with quiet approval. I stand with you at the gate of centered identity and guard the hinge from thieves. Archangel Michael says, "The sorrow I felt when you skipped me has turned into relief because you stayed for the truth. You listened until the ache loosened and the grip of fear slid away. You stayed long enough for the new pattern to imprint. You honored the message by acting on it with real steps. Carry this atmosphere into your calls and meetings and errands. Let your tone be full without being loud. Let your choices be kind to your future self and firm with anything that drains you. Your days will begin to stack like bright tiles. Your weeks will form a mosaic that reflects your actual design. Your months will read like chapters written with purpose and care. I seal your boundaries with ease so you do not spend energy guarding them with constant vigilance. I amplify the signals that tell you when a room is right and when it is wrong. I soften the edges of change so you can move without tearing. The sky of your life looks open again. The horizon carries a shimmer that promises sustainable growth. The ground under your feet feels honest and supportive. You are free to build without explaining every beam. You are free to love without bargaining for safety. You are free to rest without earning it through exhaustion. The confession has done its work and can be laid to rest. The truth has done its work and can be trusted to continue. Your heart has done its work and can now enjoy the fruit. I remain near, quiet and attentive. I adjust the light when the room needs it and I open the window when the air grows stale. I keep watch while you sleep and I keep step while you move. The sound that once was crying has become a steady hum of protection. The message that once felt urgent has become the foundation you stand on every day. The path that once felt hidden has become a road you know by heart. Walk forward with calm certainty. Create with clean hands and an open chest. Receive good news without suspicion and place it where it belongs. Your name is cleared in places you have not visited yet. Your work is welcomed in circles that match your character. Your peace is recognized as strength, not passivity. This is the after of the storm and the before of the harvest. This is the stillness that follows rescue and precedes expansion. This is the chapter where you write from wholeness and not from defense. I am done crying because you did not skip the rescue this time. I am done raising my voice because you heard me when it mattered. I am here, steady and close, while you move into the life that fits your true name. Archangel Michael says, the room of your life keeps expanding, and every new doorway opens without a fight because the truth has already paid the fee. You step through one threshold and find the air warmer and the light softer. The old echo of accusation no longer follows you down hallways. The ground holds still while your next decision lands with confidence. Your calendar becomes a friend that remembers what matters. Appointments line up like respectful guests who arrive on time and bring what they promised. Projects accept your pace and reward your steadiness with visible progress. You adjust your posture and the world adjusts around you. Desks fit, chairs welcome, screens respond, and doors recognize your approach. The friction that used to nibble your hours fades like a bad frequency turned off at the source. I collect the last splinters of doubt and carry them out of your house. I rinse your memory with clean water until the stain releases its grip. I polish the lens through which you view yourself so you finally see what has always been true. A messenger you did not expect sends you a clear invitation. Their words are simple, their timing exact, their tone respectful. You accept without bargaining against your worth, and the path answers with smooth stone underfoot. People who love you begin to mirror back your strength. Their voices reflect your growth instead of your past. Their presence amplifies your peace instead of testing it. You find a rhythm in small rituals that nourish your day. A glass of water at dawn becomes a promise kept to your body. A 10-minute stretch becomes a handshake with your own stamina. Your creativity blooms in practical shapes that serve real needs. You write, build, cook, arrange, and each act carries ease. Ideas arrive already wearing shoes, ready to work, ready to bless. Archangel Michael says, the confession that once cut you has become a seam that holds your story together. It marks where the fabric tore and where the thread returned. It proves that even wounds can form lines of beauty when repaired with care. It reminds you that resilience is not noise but structure. The person who confessed faces their own turning without your supervision. Their days teach them the cost of distortion and the relief of clean speech. They learn that attention bought with harm bankrupts the soul that spends it. You stop rehearsing conversations that never happen. You stop explaining yourself to walls that never learn to listen. You stop shrinking to fit rooms that never earned your presence. Morning arrives with a gentleness that keeps its promise through noon. Afternoon delivers results that translate into quiet satisfaction. Evening brings closure without heaviness because nothing was forced. You begin to invest your time where returns are measured in clarity. You decline opportunities that glitter without substance. You choose projects that age well and partnerships that honor boundaries. An old friend reaches out with a tone that feels safe again. You respond with balance, not nostalgia, and the connection finds a healthy shape. Shared laughter breaks the thin ice and returns as drinkable water. I seat guardians at the edges of your mind who know your true name. They wave away thoughts that arrive dressed as fear pretending to be caution. They welcome insights that arrive dressed as calm pretending to be nothing special. You read a sentence that alters your approach to the next 12 months. It is not dramatic, but it is useful, and usefulness turns the wheel. You apply it immediately and the effect multiplies across your tasks. Your finances reflect the order inside you with honest math. Expenses bow to planning and income respects your intention. Savings become a living proof that consistency is a quiet miracle. You forgive the parts of yourself that learned survival in complicated rooms. You honor those parts for keeping you alive and invite them to rest. You ask your wisdom to take the front seat and it accepts without ceremony. Your sleep becomes a workshop of restoration. Dreams return tools you lost in old storms. You wake carrying equipment that fits the next assignment. Archangel Michael says, you now carry a signature presence that settles spaces. Arguments lose energy near your composure. Chaos steps aside for your alignment. Impatience melts in the heat of your patience. The past knocks from time to time with a soft hand. You open the door only enough to take what was left for you, lessons, blessings, and receipts. You close it gently once more and return to the present without residue. News arrives about an opportunity you nearly forgot you pursued. Your earlier effort has been working while you slept. The update confirms that nothing planted in integrity returns empty. You organize your digital life until it serves you like a faithful assistant. Folders hold their shape, files answer when called, and notifications respect your schedule. Your attention moves like a well-trained beam that lights what you choose. A stranger performs a small kindness that lands with disproportionate grace. It tells you the world recognizes your signal even where your name is unknown. It reminds you that goodness travels faster than rumor when given a clear path. You revisit a goal that once felt heavy and find it light. You break it into sequences that honor your capacity. You meet each sequence with dignity and collect momentum as you go. You make room for rest that does not resemble collapse. You end days without dragging them into the night. You begin mornings without borrowing yesterday's fatigue. I lay fresh oil on your confidence so it does not squeak when it moves. I lay fresh strength on your focus so it does not flicker under pressure. I lay fresh joy on your diligence so it does not dry into duty. Relationships move into truthful alignment. Unearned access loses its pass and earned trust receives a key. Conversations become precise instruments that tune connection without noise. You learn the discipline of gentle endings. You close chapters without theatrical exits. You let conclusions be clean and self-respecting. Your reputation now travels ahead of you like a herald that tells the truth. It announces steadiness, fairness, and follow-through. It draws the right minds toward collaboration and the wrong ones toward silence. Archangel Michael says, I fold away the emergency tone now that you are listening in everyday hours. The siren becomes a song that encourages without alarming. The trumpet becomes a bell that marks time with peace. The cry becomes a whisper that you can hear even in crowded rooms. You will build in seasons that once felt like recovery only. You will lead in spaces that once barely welcomed you. You will rest in patterns that used to collapse under stress. A document lands on your desk with terms you prayed for and framed in clarity. You scan the lines and find fairness in every corner. Your signature creates a bridge between your skill and the world's need. You keep a private ledger of small wins that nobody else sees. It grows into proof that your days are not ordinary. It trains your eyes to recognize harvest in fields that look quiet. Your language becomes precise and kind, and it travels without friction. Your tone carries trust because it is built from lived consistency. Your words land and do their work without apology. When grief visits, you seat it at the table and serve it tea. It sits for a while, teaches what it came to teach, and leaves respectfully. You return to your work with a clean heart and a steady gaze. You invest in learning that stretches your reach without snapping your thread. Workshops, books, mentors, practice, each piece clicks into place. Results accumulate like bricks that will carry the weight of your future rooms. I strengthen your ability to say no without performance. I strengthen your ability to say yes without fear. I strengthen your ability to wait without wasting. Your home grows an atmosphere that supports concentration and ease. Corners become stations where progress occurs. Tables become altars to clarity and chairs become invitations to finish. You begin to receive compliments that match who you are, not who others imagined. These words fit like clothes in your size. You wear them with humility and go back to work. Archangel Michael says, the road before you is not a riddle, it is a well-marked path. The markers are peace, usefulness, respect, and truth. You follow them like stars that do not move. You reach milestones right on time because time favors alignment. Your name appears in rooms you have not entered yet, and it does not tremble. Your work is discussed with accuracy and goodwill. Your presence is requested without flattery and with purpose. You realize that the loudest miracle is a life that works. You realize that the deepest vindication is fruit that lasts. You realize that the best answer to falsehood is the quiet fact of your becoming. I settle over your nights like a roof that does not leak. I stand along your mornings like pillars that do not crack. I travel inside your afternoons like a breeze that keeps the air from stagnating. Keep walking with this level of clarity. Keep building with this level of kindness to yourself. Keep choosing with this level of loyalty to your future. The tear I cried when you skipped me has become the ink of this calm. The cry I lifted when you hesitated has become the strength that does not need to shout. The ache I felt when you were almost lost has become the compass that does not fail. Every step now writes a sentence that reads clean. Every choice now adds a paragraph that holds. Every day now closes like a chapter that knows its purpose. Archangel Michael says, I am here, steady at your side, while you continue exactly like this, clear, grounded, protected, and free. Archangel Michael says, the horizon widens with your every steady breath, and the day meets you like a loyal friend who learned your true schedule. You rise without dragging yesterday behind you like broken luggage. You move with that quiet velocity that wastes nothing and multiplies everything. You look around and recognize how much room has returned to your life. The tools in your hands feel honest and responsive. The tasks before you line up in an order that respects your strength. The hours carry you instead of resisting you. I place clarity at the gate of every decision so confusion cannot bluff its way in. I place gentleness at the center of your will so strength never turns to hardness. I place endurance under your feet so momentum becomes natural. Messages arrive with clean intent and simple terms. You reply without performance and receive confirmations that land like keys. Agreements form that honor your time, your craft, and your boundaries. Your voice speaks with authority that does not need volume. Your presence settles rooms that used to run hot. Your pace sets an example that others can follow without strain. The memory of the wound no longer steals energy from your best thoughts. It sits in the archive where it belongs, labeled, learned from, and quiet. It no longer interrupts your building with old alarms. I open corridors where your name travels accurately. People describe you with words you recognize as true. You are received for who you are, not for the costume others once threw over you. You begin to enjoy the honest satisfaction of finished work. You close loops that used to trail behind you for weeks. You hand in deliverables that shine with practical usefulness. Your mornings hold small ceremonies that nourish courage. You water the plant, you stretch the spine, you write the 3 lines. These unremarkable rituals weave an unbreakable net. Archangel Michael says, I anchor patience in you so you grow like a healthy tree instead of a noisy firework. Roots deepen unseen while branches spread at the proper pace. Shade arrives in season and fruit arrives right on time. Birdsong returns to your branches because safety attracts life. You organize your finances with a calm hand. You separate needs from wants without scolding yourself. You choose investments that serve your future integrity. Numbers begin to reflect your internal repair. Waste drains away because purpose leaves no room for leaks. Provision finds you because you learn to greet it with structure. Relationships adjust into their true shapes without conflict. Mutual respect thickens like a steady thread through every conversation. Unnecessary drama dissolves because it cannot feed on your new atmosphere. You give kindness within limits that protect your core. You welcome honesty as the language of your closest circle. You celebrate others without losing your center of gravity. Your body believes you again and grants you more energy. Food tastes like partnership instead of punishment. Rest returns as a skilled healer, not a rare visitor. I set a lamp over your creative desk so ideas find you with ease. You draft with flow and edit with precision. You finish pieces you once feared and enjoy their completion. Doors that were painted shut lift on oiled hinges. Conversations you dreaded now feel simple and direct. Systems that once failed you now stay faithful because you tuned them carefully. You measure success by fruit that lasts, not by noise that fades. You prize continuity over spectacle. You choose depth over display and find the returns profound. Archangel Michael says, I fold the map so the next step always fits your hand. You never stand lost at a crossroads with blank eyes. You never wander through fog without a thread. You never spend long in places that rob your clarity. You re-enter rooms that once held your smallness and find them comfortable in a new way. You do not shrink to fit them, they expand to fit you. You perform no tricks to be tolerated because you do not need tolerance where you belong. Praise no longer intoxicates you and criticism no longer poisons you. Both are translated into information your wisdom can use. You keep your center and keep moving. The confession that broke open the season becomes a dated entry in your ledger. You carry its lesson but not its ache. You carry its clarity but not its heaviness. I assign strong quiet to your calendar on days that used to spiral. UST. You refuse to rehearse imaginary disasters. You refuse to fuel other people's storms with your attention. You refuse to gamble your peace for temporary approval. Your home now speaks the language of order. Surfaces invite work or rest instead of chaos. Light finds corners that once kept secrets and the corners respond with cleanliness. Archangel Michael says, the world will try to rush you, but you will keep your honest pace. You will meet deadlines without borrowing panic. You will lift heavy things without lifting what was never yours. You will deliver excellence without offering your soul as collateral. I appoint guardians at your thresholds who recognize your mission. They turn away demands that come dressed as emergencies but carry no purpose. They welcome assignments that carry meaning, timing, and fairness. Opportunities now choose you as much as you choose them. Your portfolio reads like a story with coherence and growth. Your name signifies reliability, clarity, and humane discipline. You make room for play that strengthens your spirit. You laugh in ordinary places and that laughter oils the gears. You cultivate wonder that keeps your work alive. Grief and joy learn to share the same table without fighting. You let both speak when they arrive and you let both leave when they finish. You do not cling to either as an identity. The web of support around you tightens in the best way. People show up when needed because you built trust with time. You show up for them because that is who you choose to be. Archangel Michael says, I untie the knot between your worth and your output. You are valuable on the days you rest and on the days you run. You are treasured in the quiet seasons and in the harvest. You are whole even while you are still becoming. Your skills sharpen without cutting you. Your ambition warms without burning you. Your focus narrows without blinding you to beauty. I gather the last echoes of accusation and dissolve them in truth. I gather the last crumbs of fear and compost them into courage. I gather the last fog of confusion and lift it into clear air. You practice endings that honor beginnings. You graduate from rooms without staging a fire. You archive what served you and carry forward what still serves. The table you build for your life has room for those who honor its rules. There is room for laughter, for silence, for work, and for rest. There is room for growth that does not trample tenderness. You stop apologizing for taking up your rightful space. You stop narrating your goodness as a defense. You stop volunteering for battles that do not build anything. Archangel Michael says, I sign tonight with a seal that does not fade. Your path is guarded, your mind is clear, your spirit is steady. Your hands are blessed for useful work and generous giving. Your days are aligned with a purpose that keeps paying dividends. The cry that once shook the windows has quieted into a steady watch. The urgency has turned into rhythm. The warning has matured into wisdom. Move forward as you have begun, calm, clean, and courageous. Carry your peace like a lantern that does not go out. Build what lasts and enjoy what grows under your care.